Greetings and welcome. This is the New Thought Media Network. I'm Ken Ludwig. You are watching the Vibrant Living Hour. Hope this day finds you safe, healthy, and happy, and that you are living your best life, doing whatever it is you're doing, wherever you're doing it. That you're just enjoying yourself, that you're having fun, that you are seeing an abundance of joy, love, and enthusiasm all around you, everywhere. Just the good life, if that's what it is. So, I always like to reflect on the old Chinese saying, may you live in interesting times. And I've always maintained that it is either, depending on your perspective in the moment, it's either a blessing or a curse. And we certainly are living in interesting times. And I think it's incumbent upon each and every one of us that we really need to maybe focus a little more, to zero in on what it is we want to be in the world, what it is we want to accomplish. I think I've said before that I've wrestled with the idea of purpose my whole life. And I think I finally come at this stage at 71 years old. I think maybe my purpose is just simply to be a beneficial presence, on the planet, whatever that looks like, what day to day, person to person, interaction to interaction, however that looks, whatever it feels like. That's, I think, what my actual purpose is. And at this particular time in history, and by the way, I can see folks are out there. And when I can see you're out there, I only have one request. Please make a comment, say hi, ask a question, something. Just let me know that you're there paying attention. So what is it? Hi, Wayne. Nice to see you there, buddy. I love the idea that each and every one of us can make a difference. And I think we get too caught up in the numbers and the idea that we have to be many, that we have to be an organization, we have to be a group, we have to be a pack, we have to be whatever it is. We have to be by pack, I mean, not just wolf pack, I mean, political action committee pack. We have to be part of something bigger than ourselves in order to make a difference. And I don't think that's it. I think we can make a difference very, very simply by seeking to be the best me, be the best individual I can be, not be better than anybody else, just be better than who I was yesterday. And I think we can, each and every one of us, make a difference. And I think we make that difference by developing habits. I've talked many times about the idea of discipline. Discipline is always, and it's one of my favorite words in the world, because the root word of discipline is disciple. And a disciple is someone who takes on a set of practices and principles for their own personal betterment. That's all it is. That's a disciple. And that comes from Latin, from discipulus, which is pupil, and discipulus comes from discere, which is to learn. So being having discipline is just being a disciple of something. It's about being a student of your life, about being a student of life in general. It's about just having that mentality of beginner's mind, if you will, the Buddhist idea of beginner's mind, of always being open to the new, to the better, to the more vibrant, to the more alive, to just be in that space. And we're living in a time in history when that's not what it feels like out there. It doesn't feel more alive. It feels oppressive. It feels like there is an entire group of people looking to push us all down, to make us less than them, or to make us less than someone else, or to make us feel that someone else is making us less than, so that we're at war with them. There seems to be this mentality, this overarching mindset of us against them. And as long as we participate in that, that's going to be the reality. The only way we're going to change that is to not be a participant in that. And the only way we can not be a participant is to change who we are. If your habit, like me, if your habit like me is to be a political animal, is to always be up to date on what's going on in politics, what's going on in the ultimate world of us versus them, if that's your place, then you wind up in the same space I'm in a lot of the time, which is I'm taking sides. And that's okay to take sides, but you can't be taking sides from the standpoint of being vociferously, if you will, us against them, me against you. I can understand your differing point of view without having to get ugly. We can be in disagreement without being disagreeable, is the expression. And I think that's about developing habits of resilience, habits of vibrancy, habits of making sure that what someone else does doesn't diminish me, doesn't take away from who I am or who I'm trying to be or what I'm trying to accomplish in the world. Whatever it is they want to do, good. I love the idea of when somebody does something insanely stupid, cut you off in traffic, whatever it is, just to look at it from the standpoint of, I'm glad they're having a good time. And skip the judgment. Skip the labeling. I'm really good at the labeling, especially, when we bring up the traffic situation. I'm great at labeling those people. And I work hard at not labeling them, but I've been driving for over 50 years and those habits are my habits. And so in order to be different, I have to create a new set of habits and I have to correct myself every time. And trust me when I tell you, correcting myself is not about, oh, you jerk, you idiot, you said you weren't going to do that anymore. You're trying not to label people. You're not looking to call them an effing idiot or whatever it is I'm calling them. And you just screwed this up. That's not the answer. The answer is what I call catch and correct. Catch yourself. Make sure that you understand this is not who I said I was going to be or I'm trying to be. And correct yourself. And correct yourself from the standpoint of I will just do better next time. That's a great one. Wayne here in the comments just said, may the wellspring of life bless you always. That's, do a blessing. Bless them on their way. Or just say, I'm glad they're having a good time. What works. But it's the idea of developing habits that are more life affirming, that are more positive, that are more beneficial, that I think is important to us all. I mentioned the last week that my friend Larry Whithelm sent me this great book, The Daily Stoic, Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living. And there's commentary in here by a couple of authors, Ryan Holiday, who wrote the bestseller, The Obstacle is the Way, and Stephen Hanselman. And they do commentary underneath quotations from one of the Stoics. And this was this morning's reading, August 11th. The title of it is No Time for Theories, Just Results. And this is the quote at the top. When the problem arose for us, whether habit or theory was better for getting virtue, if by theory is meant what teaches us correct conduct, and by habit we mean being accustomed to act according to this theory, Musonius thought habit to be more effective. That's from the writing of Musonius Rufus, his lectures. In other words, we have all these, these theories of how to behave, and then we have the habits of behavior. Which is more effective? Of course, habit is more effective to get there. You may have the theory to start with, but it is the habit that gets you there. And so then the fellows right underneath here, a quote from Hamlet: there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. There is no time to chop logic over whether our theories are correct. We're dealing with the real world here. What matters is how you're going to deal with this situation right in front of you and whether you're going to be able to move past it and on to the next one. That's not saying that anything goes, but we can't forget that although theories are clean and simple, situations really are. So we can have all kinds of theories about how we're going to act, about how we're going to respond to a certain situation. But the theory doesn't mean a darn thing unless we put it into action. And if we put it into action repeatedly, it becomes a habit. And if it becomes a habit, then it becomes who we are. Joe Dispenza would tell you that is your new personality. That is expressing a new personality by changing the habits and becoming someone different. It made me think about the old quote from Aristotle, or what is attributed to Aristotle, that we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, it's a habit. And actually, that's a quote from a writer by the name of Will Durant. I'm not familiar with Will Durant, but that is his interpretation of what Aristotle actually said, which is virtues are formed in men by his, I'm sorry, that's not incorrect. Virtues are formed in man by his doing the actions. And that's where Will Durant interpreted it as we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Epictetus would later say that capability is confirmed and grows in its corresponding actions, walking by walking and running by running. Therefore, if you want to do something, make a habit of it. So if you want to be happy, if we want to be successful, if we want to be great, if we want to develop the capability we have to develop the day-to-day habits that will allow us to do so. I really love that. I really love that. It's the idea that if we had ever, as we were growing, when we were little, if we had just fallen down when we tried to walk, fallen down the first time and gone, oh, bag it, this is no fun, I'm not doing this again, and just spent the rest of our lives on all fours, that would not be a way to live. If the first time we tried to run, we weren't as fast as the kid next door, and we decided, well, that's the last time I'm running, well, then you're not going to get any better at running either. It's all about what we decide we want to do and then doing it. You know, and that's and understand, you know, making the decision, first and foremost, decision, another one of my favorite words, this to decide is from the Latin decidere, and the meaning of decidere literally is to cut off from, meaning that when you make a decision, you have eliminated all of the possibilities. This is what I decide. This is what I shall do. This is how I shall perform. This is my decision. I cut myself off from all other possibilities. Now, in a perfect world, and of course, that's not where we live, but in a perfect world, that would translate into everybody doing things that are beneficial for all. We would all just practice. We would make the decision, I'm doing nothing but things that are beneficial to the whole. And we would make that decision, and that's how we would perform. But that's not how it works, is it? We're human beings, and we are flawed human beings. We are flawed in every sense of the word. We are flawed. But we were given by that overarching creative intelligence, this thing we call free will. And from that free will, we get to decide what it is we wish to do. Well, you know, that's a whole nother workshop there, isn't it? I mean, we've got some factions of our government that are trying to really violently eliminate our ability to decide what we are going to do with ourselves, with our bodies. Another workshop, like I said. Not everything we decide is a positive. Not everything we decide is good. You know, I mean, I always use myself as the example. I mean, I've been sober for 34 years, but for the 25 years leading up to that event 34 years ago, I was a practicing alcoholic and drug addict. I decided every single day that I was going to drink and do cocaine, basically. I decided that every single day. And I did it for 25 years. And at the end of those 25 years, or near the end of those 25 years, I drank 2 bottles of vodka a day. It's brilliant that I'm alive. I've said many times that, you know, the punchline to drinking 2 bottles of vodka a day is you have no idea how much cocaine you have to snort just so you can keep your eyes open long enough to drink 2 bottles of vodka a day. But again, I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be alive. And I made a decision somewhere in that space 34 years ago where I wasn't going to drink and I wasn't going to do drugs anymore. And that decision I cut off from the decision to drink or to do drugs. Cut myself off from that. How did I get to do all that cocaine and all that vodka? Really simple, man. Practice, practice, practice. And it became a habit. They became a habit. That way of life became my habit. So we don't always make a decision to do life-affirming things, and we don't always make a decision to create habits that are going to benefit us or anybody around us. And trust me, 25 years of drug addiction and alcoholism did not benefit anyone around me either. As much as it damaged me, it didn't do anything positive for anybody else either. And a really cool thing, I think, is it's, you know, here I am 34 years later, and I'm very conscious of the fact that my body is a living testament to the forgiving nature of the human body if you give it an opportunity to change itself, to be healthier. And I gave it the opportunity at the right time. You know, I was 37 and a half years old when I got sober. And my thought has always been that I wonder where the cutoff point was. If I had gone past 38, would my body have said, hey, screw you, we're done? Or 40? Or for somebody else, is their cutoff date 30? I mean, I lost people in my life who never made it to 50, lost a couple more that never made it to 60, all as a direct result of drugs and alcohol. So you never know when the cutoff point is where you can stop and your body will say, okay, I forgive you, and allow you to get healthy again if that's what you decide you want to do. So creating those new habits is not about the idea that, you know, I'm going to be the greatest sober person ever, and practicing sobriety will make me the perfect sober person. No, practice does not make perfect. Practice, though, does make permanent. This is, you know, sometimes it's amazing. The computer just popped up some update thing right in front of my face. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, practice makes permanent. You practice, 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 and you get better and better and better at the things that you decide you're going to do. So if you have made a decision, cut yourself off from other opportunities, then you need to practice all of the principles and the practices that go around this particular decision. Manifesting this decision, materializing this decision, realizing this decision. That's the right word. You have to practice. And when you're done practicing, you practice some more. And when we talk about practice, then of course the word practice always leads me to daily spiritual practice, or my favorite, DSP, which is about meditation and prayer work and reading and journaling and gratitude lists, whatever it is that you do, excuse me, in the morning or in the afternoon or the evening, that gets you attached to that inner core, to that spiritual self here at the core of every cell of your being, in the space between every cell of your being. And I think that more than any other practice in the world, daily spiritual practice is the one that will bring me to that place of developing the vibrancy and the resilience to deal with whatever life throws at me, whatever the vicissitudes of life turn out to be. I am here and I am ready and I am bigger than any and all of them now. Every minute of every day. Took a survey earlier today for my health provider for my Medicare, and they wanted to know how many in the course of the last 30 days on a scale of 0 to 10, it was just numbers. How many days from 0 to 30 days were you mentally unhealthy? My answer was 0. Because do I have bad days? No, I don't really have bad days. I have bad moments. I have maybe a bad hour or two, but I don't have bad days because I have that resilience. I've developed that daily spiritual practice that allows me, gives me the tools to move myself out of that space. And number one on that list, of course, is meditation. But then it's the prayer work, and it's the reading, and it's, and it's great support reading like this. This is just dailies. And I love this book. And again, my dear friend, Larry Whithelm, thank you so much for giving me this book, because I have been reading it every day since I got it, which is only about, 10 days ago. And I truly love it. So the only other thing I really wanted to talk to you about today was, this is a hard one for me, because this show is about living your best life. This show is about living a more positive and spiritual existence. It's not about the negatives in the world. It's not about focusing on them. But and it's sure as hell not about politics. Even though I'm a political animal, I don't want it to be about politics. I don't want it to be about my politics. And I'm sure anybody and everybody who watches me knows what my politics are. And if you don't, just follow my Facebook and you'll figure it out. But I'm 71 years old, so I don't really care anymore. I mean, my politics, I wear my politics on my sleeve. And it's what my politics and my integrity are intertwined. It's who I am, and it's also my politics is intertwined with my spirituality, with my my study and embracing of the science of mind and the idea of the oneness of all life, and that we are all connected, and there's no space where I end and you begin. We are all just one. We're all just one. Even with what I consider to be some of the most vile humans on the planet, I am still one with them, and I really need to go to the biblical all the time and hate the sin, not the sinner, because each and every person walking this planet, or who has ever walked this planet, is no more or less loved by the overarching creative intelligence than I am. So if they are loved by that intelligence, then they certainly are deserving of, at the very least, my appreciation of them if I have trouble loving them. But what I want to say about that subject is, again, without trying to be political, I want to express that more than anything in the world, we need to respect, embrace, and love our brothers and sisters who may be affected by the negativity of laws that are being passed in this country. You cannot follow someone or support someone who is in the process of passing laws that hurt or might hurt people you love. I talk specifically about all the women in your life, in particular, the girls in your life, the young girls in your life. I talk specifically about them. If there are laws being passed that restrict their ability to choose life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, unencumbered by the wishes of other people, in particular, old white men. But that's another subject, because I'm an old white man myself. If there's a law being passed that's going to hurt that young woman's ability to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you cannot support and follow that person who is passing that law. If they are passing a law restricting the rights of anyone in the LGBTQ plus community, at any level, restricting their rights or their ability to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you cannot support or follow that person. If in any way, shape, or form, any politician is conjuring up legislation that denigrates, demonizes, or victimizes any person from a foreign land, look this up in the Bible, gang, any person from a foreign land, if they are passing laws to negatively affect those people wanting to come to America, you cannot follow or support that person. You cannot, in all good conscience. And I don't care if you are a practitioner of the science of mind, if you are a Stoic, if you are a Buddhist, a Jew, a Baptist, a Zen, a Christian, I don't care. All of your holy books, all of your core beliefs speak to love of our brothers and sisters, and they speak in one way, shape, or form to the oneness of all life. They do not necessarily express it in the way of metaphysics, but they express it as the love of your brothers and sisters. If anyone is passing a law or of any kind, or supporting a law, or expressing what is in a law that in any way negatively affects any of your brothers and sisters as far as their ability to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you cannot follow or support that person. Now read into that politically whatever you want. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You get my meaning. And if you're on the other side of the aisle from me, I hope to God you get the meaning. Because in the end, that mindset is on the wrong side of history. What's the expression? You know, the history has never looked fondly on the book burners. history has never looked fondly upon the oppressors either. And failure to fight against the oppressor is acquiescence to what the oppressor is trying to accomplish. It's pretty big. That's really all I have for you today. That's it for me. I want you to always remember that this is a non-profit organization. Go to newthoughtmedia.org. That's ntmedia.org, and click on donate. And we are insanely grateful for anything and everything that you would contribute to our cause here. If you like this show, if you like this network, if you like what we're producing here, please send us some support, whatever it looks like. We're thrilled. If you want to find me, you can find me on my Facebook page with my branded Facebook page with my beloved Lisa, Vibrant Aging, which of course goes hand in hand with this show, Vibrant Living. You can find me on an email if you wish at teamrockitnow@gmail.com. And please always remember that this show is brought to you by the greatest CBD and hemp-infused products on the planet, HempWorks. And I can get you the highest quality, the purest, the most potent CBD products anywhere. In particular, the tinctures. I can get you broad spectrum. I can get you full spectrum. Broad spectrum, of course, has 0 THC. Full spectrum has no more than the legal limit of 0.3% or less. 500, 750, and 1500 milligram concentrations in, believe it or not, 7 different flavors. 7. Nobody has 7 flavors. We do. Once again, just to finish off the show here, ntmedia.org. Click on donate. And we're thrilled to get whatever you have, whatever you want to give us. As always, I am immensely grateful for the incredible gift that is your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and all the blessings that the universe has to offer. And until the next time, next Thursday, when I hope you will join me once again, namaste, my friends. Namaste.